Shannon Sharpe might be holding a serious grudge against Mo'Nique and Katt Williams. And honestly, after everything that went down, can you really blame him? Katt's interview wasn't just a success. It was a complete takeover. That one sit-down flooded every feed with clips. Overnight, Shannon's couch went from being just another podcast to the spot for raw, unfiltered, no PR honesty. Then, Mo'Nique came through, sharing her blackballing story and dropping the names of heavy hitters like she was unloading an entire industry hit list.
Big dick deviance is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied. Only for Tyler Perry to admit I was.
After that, it wasn't just Shannon hosting anymore. He started letting guests spill the kind of tea that usually stays locked in green rooms and private group chats. And that's when things got messy. Real messy. Next thing you know, a late night IG Live pops up, the kind you'd wish could disappear forever. That was followed by a lawsuit with audio receipts making the rounds and headlines everyone had already read twice just to make sure they were real. So now the question is, were those bombshell interviews the reason Shannon became a target? Or did his own slip-ups crack the door wide open for a takedown? Let's keep it real. That Katt interview didn't just trend, it devoured the feed. Names, wild claims, jaw-dropping stories. People were going back and forth in the comments for days. That interview didn't just pull views, it hijacked the entire timeline. Overnight, Club Shay Shay turned into a no-holds-barred confession booth.
Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Shannon went from sports legend to the guy everyone wanted to see play culture referee. And that's exactly when the whole game flipped. Once you blow up like that, you're no longer just the interviewer. You're part of the story. People are rooting for you? Sure, but they're also waiting for the day you slip up. You could feel it in the air. Yeah, Shannon was hotter than ever, but the vibe had gotten colder. Those viral moments made him a household name, but they also painted a bullseye right on his back. So when the IG Live scandal, the lawsuit, and the job drama hit one after the other, they also painted a bullseye right on his back. So when the IG Live scandal, the lawsuit, and the job drama hit one after the other, people started whispering, maybe this wasn't just bad luck. Maybe someone was setting him up from the start. After Katt's interview shook the table, Mo'Nique came in swinging, keeping that momentum alive. Sitting in the same seat, she broke down her blackballing story, spilled details about shady deals, and called out the people she says were behind it all.
Only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied. Only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong, and when my movie Boo come out, I'm gonna say that.
The reaction? Immediate chaos. Clips flooded social media, old stories were dug up, and people who had never cared about Shannon or even sports were now showing up for the culture talk. With every viral clip, the stakes kept rising. This wasn't just about laughs anymore. It was about money, power, and who still had a seat at the table. 2 massive back-to-back interviews had fans eating it up, but behind the scenes, industry eyes were locked on him, watching, waiting, taking notes. Bookings went up, views skyrocketed, but the vibe kept shifting. Because once you give the mic to guests with nothing to lose, you're not just making noise, you're making enemies. And that kind of heat doesn't stay in the studio. It follows you everywhere. That's exactly how Shannon walked straight into his first big mistake, the late-night IG Live that never should have seen the light of day. He didn't play the I got hacked card either. Nah, he owned it, talked about it on his show, and tried to move forward.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed. Someone that is extremely private, and to have one of your most intimate details the audio heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. People count on Shannon, Shay Shay Media, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, ESPN. There are a lot of people that count on Shannon to be professional at all times. And I always try to be professional at all times. Even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my.
But the damage was already done. The reactions were all over the place. Some were clowning, calling it 50 Shades of Shay, while others were side-eyeing him, saying, "Funny how life humbles you real quick." Just days before, Shannon had been throwing shade at Ooh, calling him unprofessional. And now, boom, the tables turned, receipts in hand. But no matter which side you were on, the spotlight was no longer on his guests. It was locked squarely on him. And before the laughter even died down, here came the next bombshell, the lawsuit. Not gossip, not whispers, real paperwork, real court. Gabriela Zuniga filed a $50 million case against Shannon, and her side didn't just talk. They came with audio receipts that exploded online like wildfire. The clips were reposted everywhere, chopped into 30-second segments that had the internet swearing they already knew the whole truth. Shannon fought back hard, claiming the clip was twisted, stripped of context, and nowhere near what the internet was making it out to be.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so.
But once something like that hits the timeline, you can't just stuff it back in the box. It's out there and everyone's running with their own version. Fans split again, with some saying, "Let the court handle it," while others treated that clip like it was the final word. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the vibe got icy. Brands and partners didn't rush to make public statements. They just went quiet. Fans split again, with some saying, "Let the court handle it," while others treated that clip like it was the final word. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the vibe got icy. Brands and partners didn't rush to make public statements. They just went quiet. That's how the game works. They stand back, watch the fallout, and decide later if they're still riding with you. Through it all, Shannon kept showing up. Lights on, cameras rolling. But now, with a $50 million storm cloud hanging over his head, the whispers of a setup grew louder. Too many hits, too close together. It stopped feeling like just internet drama and started to smell like a full-on takedown. And just when people thought it couldn't get worse, the job news dropped. After the court headlines, the job news came in quick, and it hit like a gut punch. 1 week, Shannon was still on TV, acting like nothing had changed. Then suddenly, he stepped back.
ESPN confirming to NBC it's cutting ties with its NFL commentator Shannon Sharpe. The move coming after Sharpe, of course, the Hall of Fame tight end, settled a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault and battery.
Before we get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, "Bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, "Bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on." And I really enjoyed my time at ESPN.
No big farewell, no teary-eyed speech, just a quiet exit that spoke volumes. It happened right alongside a big family moment, and you could hear the sting in his voice when he mentioned it. Losing a gig like that isn't just about missing the paycheck. It's a hit to your pride. But here's the twist. Losing TV didn't mean losing the audience. The podcast was still pulling wild numbers, clips were still going viral, and bookings kept rolling in. The real shift came in the narrative. Without that TV role, people stopped calling him the host with the viral couch and started treating him like the headline himself. Then, summer 2025 brought another hit. This time from Gamita Tillman, who hit Shannon Otenkeno and Shishi Media with a $20 million defamation suit. She claimed they pushed a false story about her marriage after that viral Usher concert clip. And this wasn't just internet mess, it was real court filings. The headlines flew, clips were yanked and reposted, and debates erupted over what was said, what was implied, and whether the line had been crossed.
Do something about it. I'm taking this to Congress. This is not just stopping in the courtroom. This is about protecting all private citizens from people who have a bully pulpit, a cyberbullying pulpit that's funded by the tunes of tens of millions of dollars. Not only do they get money from advertisers, but they get money from monetizing click and bait and then licensing and resharing these shows. And that is why Chairman Guthrie, who was in charge of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce, and the other 54 members of that committee will be meeting with me this week so that we can put forth a hearing so that there can be legislation in place to be able to hold them accountable.
I know that.
Once again, Shannon wasn't reacting to guest drama. He was the drama. Now here's what people tend to gloss over. Yes, the case was filed, and yes, some outlets later reported that it was dismissed in federal court, but those updates barely made a sound. Not every platform ran the same details, and anyone who's ever been near a courtroom knows that timing and paperwork can blur the picture fast. Bottom line, it was filed, it was public, and while it was active, it did real damage. Lawsuits like that, slow bookings, scare brands, and keep your name tied to controversy instead of the work you're trying to do. Then, there's the fan theory crew, the ones who swear that those back-to-back Katt and Mo'Nique interviews kicked off the whole domino effect. Some say Hollywood made sure to clap back hard. It's a cleaner story. Shannon gives guests a live mic. They drop raw truth, and the machine reminds him who's in charge. Maybe that's how it played out. Or maybe, once the spotlight got that big, the margin for error shrank to zero, and one mix of IG slips, private messages, and on-air moments was enough to tip everything over. What's not up for debate is how hot the fire got. After those interviews, the heat never cooled. Every week, it was another clip, another headline, another reason for people to pick a side. And once the lawsuit started flying, it stopped being gossip. It was legal. It was public. And it had real stakes. So, here we are. The paper trail might be done, but the guessing game isn't. Was Shannon taken out by the system? Or did he load the gun himself? With TV gone and legal trouble still hanging in the air, his next move could flip the whole story, or seal it for good. And if his name pops up in one more headline, we'll know this isn't just another chapter. This is the moment where it all turns or ends. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And trust me, you're going to